Okay, I got to turn the light on because I need some proper light. I'm working on something. I'm going to do some work in a minute. I'm going to be working on something in a minute. Who's going to hold your hat? Hey, who's going to hold your hat? Who's going to hold your hat? Who's going to hold your hat?
It was always flat with a slight bend and fruity dry ends. It turns out that the wig patterns can look straight if you're not taking care of them properly. So that's when I decided to take the course.
Okay, chapter 2.
It's a custom formula based on all the factors impacting your hair type, scalp,
Everyone's number.
diet, or even your environment.
Chapter 2.
My custom formula is
Chapter 2. Everyone's number?
Chapter 2. High enough to not weigh down my hair, which is super important for wavy hair. Once I started using
that's too light. I need a darker thing.
I'm so glad I started embracing my texture and giving my hair the love it deserves. Go take the price of the my hair will thank you.
Okay. I'm a great writer, I think. Okay, Alexander 30, 40, 75, QL 42. Alexander is 30. Okay. By 36, B36. Mac is 32. Okay. Corey is 57. Okay, Rob is 40. Mom? I don't think it's weird, but yeah, I'm working on the story because it's fun. I'm not gonna watch Storm Chasers right now. Cody's 24. I hear you. I hear you. Okay. Phil's number is 21. Ben, 7. I'm gonna rewrite this over again, guys. This is just a tough rough. Who cares? I'm just looking at the way it is. Okay, Dylan is 44.
Tao Clean is running their own mega sale right now, and honestly,
Is
it blows
44.
every Friday deal out of the water. You're not just getting the viral Uma Diamond
Felix
toothbrush, the one
is
that already comes
75.
with whitening brush heads, 40,000 sonic strokes per minute, and the patented UVC base that kills 99.9% of germs and dries your brush head. You're also getting all of these freebies included. This is the only toothbrush clinically proven to whiten your teeth up to 2 shades in just 2 weeks. And with 10 gorgeous colors to choose from, it's as much about style as it is about oral care. Every purchase comes with free gifts, but only while supplies last. This is their best.
I'm gonna redo this over again because I screwed up already.
Click the link.
I'm like McGee. I'm like Magoo from NCIS.
Let's see how it redefines your essentials. Elegantly minimal, incredibly secure, and for a limited time, upgrade your carry for up to 40% off.
2.
Engineered with RFID blocking security for space for everything you need. And for ultimate peace of mind, add AirTag tracking to your setup. We've poured years of research and relentless durability testing, perfecting the minimalist quality, designing it to last you a life.
Everyone's number.
Our expertise delivers unmatched security and style. The Ridge is classic, iconic colors, built from premium materials that stand the test of time. We listen to what you need: a smart, slim, and incredibly durable way to carry. The result: the smartest, toughest wallet you'll ever own. It's designed for life. Access your cards or cash in the snap. It holds 1 to 12 cards without fault, keeping everything perfectly organized. And with options for AirTag tracking, you'll always know where your essentials are. Like all Ridge
Hey,
products,
always
this wallet is born from years of
wear
research and engineering
always
with premium materials like aerospace grade aluminum and carbon fiber, rigorously tested for durability,
wear
protection,
this
lasting.
this number
This is the real deal. RFID
this
blocking with
NUMEER number.
wherever you go. Its slim profile ensures it feels good in hand and pocket all day, every day. Wherever you go, the Ridge wallet empowers you. Whatever your day holds, it simplifies and secures your care through every adventure. We've got your essentials covered. Carry less, live more, build for a
So
life. Find yours now at ridge.com.
I should make 2 copies of this paper. Only 1 copy, which sucks because I threw the main away. Recently. Threw the main away. Alexander 30. Let me write this over again. You can't screw me up. I got screwed up. when they okay.
Son, you make them look like they're all London slumbers.
Okay. That's her. Looks. Alexander is 30. Is $32. I had sex with you. Yeah, what is this crap? Bob is 36.
That's where Blood Flow 7 comes in. Blood Flow 7 contains S7, powerful antioxidant.
Number is
Nitric oxide production by an incredible 230% in just 3 hours. But that's not all. It also includes trans resveratrol,
Bob
which can expand your arteries up to 62%. This means less strain on your heart
is
circulation, better energy levels, better oxygen delivery to your
oh,
brain,
that's
and
Mac.
support for healthy blood pressure levels. So click the link, learn more about Blood Flow 7, and take the first step for better circulation and heart health. Don't just eat right and exercise, do more. Give your heart the extra support it deserves with Blood Flow 7.
Mac 32.
At Kadosic says, hey, Aging Wheels, can you please do a video on the tools you use? I know you're a big Ryobi guy. I'm getting more into
Is
working on
to
cars and would
32.
like to know what you use. What? I'm a big Ryobi guy.
Corey
Okay,
is
good idea.
57.
Oh, I think I get it. Yeah, sure. Let's talk about my tools. What I have, why I have it. Maybe I'll give you some useful tips and recommendations along the way. Although I doubt it, because what do I know? Let's start out with basic hand tools.
Okay,
Wrenches,
Phil,
sockets,
21.
ratchets, and the like.
Phil.
Follow mine in this mobile
Nope,
tool
Rob's
here.
40.
I only bought this thing last month, and that's a huge shame because I should have had this for years because this thing is a massive time saver. Instead of spending all of my time going back and forth from whatever car I'm working on to the toolbox to get one socket, and then having to go back to the toolbox because I got the wrong size socket the first time, and then ending up at the end of a job with a pile of ratchets and sockets and everything in random places all over the shop, I can just wheel this over to wherever I'm working, grab whatever I need out of it, use it, and as soon as I'm done using it, I can put it right back where it belongs so I don't end up with tools scattered all over the shop. Even if you work in just a one-car garage, I'd highly recommend picking up a mobile tool cart like this. And by the way, if you're wondering where I got it, well, that should be patently obvious. As for what's in this toolbox, I got it all nicely organized. All my sockets and ratchets are a Craftsman set that I got way back in college. These bits over here are from Harbor Freight, and these are from Lowe's, who Cobalt brand are my impact sockets. And my wrenches are, vast majority of them are metric. They're all Craftsman as well. And I do have a set of Imperial tools over here because you never know when you're going to need Imperial tools. Up here, I've got some screwy bits, and here is just various ratchet socket accessories, axle nuts for when I need them, an oil filter wrench, and some spark plug wrenches, stuff like that. And also a power thing to drive them. Over here in the corner, I had these two toolboxes full of hand tools and various other things. These were given to me by my parents for 2 different Christmases because what do you get the person that has everything? A place to keep their everything. Over here above my basic but functional work,
When they all
I
play
have a
games,
tool wall
they-
with even more hand tools on it. And I really like this tool wall approach for my wood
You
shop.
know?
But in here, it doesn't make as much sense. This shop is a little bit too decentralized for this approach to be efficient. I rarely do any actual work here at the workbench. So these tools I end up taking them off and then just scattering them around the shop somewhere and never putting them back properly. So I think in the future, I'm going to rebuild this workbench, replace it with something that's a bit nicer looking and has drawers in it, and get rid of this tool wall entirely. Over time, I've collected a small number of specialty tools. Each task requires a different set of tooling. Got a small collection of axle nut sockets here that I bought basically for one job and then never used again, although it's not money thrown away because these are very useful to beat on stuff with. More specialty tools on the shelf over here. I've got a vacuum pump and manifold gauge that I bought for installing mini splits. I've done a few times now. Below that is, I don't remember. I've got an ultrasonic parts cleaner here that doesn't work very well. Below that is a crankshaft bearing puller tool thing that I bought for disassembling the Saab V4 engine and never used again. Here is a bearing splitter set that I bought from Harbor Freight. Don't remember what I bought it for, but I'm sure it was very useful. Below that is the front end service kit, so tie rod separators,
642X.
separators, whatever. I bought that for the Yugo, and it already serves me very well. It scared the crap out of me, but it serves me very well.
Hey, where's Tara? Tara sleeps, hold on.
Barely used. In this dark cabin,
Go Tara into his
behind me is my
room.
wood
He's
shop.
always
Lots of
asleep.
interesting tools to talk about in there, some of which I improved or made entirely myself, but that's a
This is
discussion I'll
thick.
leave for a video on my second channel. I'll keep this video focused on automotive-related tools, or just whatever's in my main shop. I do have 2 benchtop DC power supplies. This one's branded as a TAC Life. It maxes out at 30 volts and 10 amps. I bought it off Amazon. I'll have a link in the description to that. I do recommend it. This one, I don't remember the brand name on. It maxes out at 150 volts at 2 amps, and I paid nothing for it. This was accidentally sent to me.
Part of his
I
shit
have no idea how a mistake
in the
like
house.
that happened. It's not
Like
like it was
watching
sent
porn.
in place of something I
And
was
it's
supposed to get. It
porn
was
it.
sent in a completely separate box alongside
So it's 8 o'clock,
something
wow.
else that I actually did order. I don't even know where you buy one of these things, but free DC power supply. And it's rated 150 volts, so that's pretty cool. It'll be cool until it burns
E N D
my
E
shop, but
X
right now, I'm grateful.
E
I do have a shop press. This was a very
N
easy purchase to
D
justify
E
because
R.
I got it specifically for removing and installing wheel bearings in the WeGo. If I were to hire a mechanic to do that same job, it would have cost just about
Is-
as much as this whole machine. So I bought this and did it myself, and it has come in handy much more times than that. Tucked away over here in the corner is a lift height transmission jack that Alex from Technology Connections bought me to work on his little Nissan Figaro, and an engine hoist that I bought for obvious reasons
Mac 32.
to lift my spirits. No, wait, that's not it. Underneath my Shiley built workbench is an engine stand that I've used all of once. I used it for the Saab V4 and a parts washer back here. And both of these came from, you guessed it,
32.
Cargill. Now, Ryobi. Why Ryobi?
Okay,
I get
Corey,
asked this question
32.
fairly often, which I find
Mac.
odd because I have Bosch tools.
Corey, 57.
Nobody asked me about those. I suspect it's because they're not lying green enough. First of all, I am not sponsored by or affiliated with Ryobi in any way, shape, or form. At least that's
57.
now. That may change in the future, but as of right now,
Rob.
no affiliation. So why do I have so
40.
many of these bright green tools? Well, 3 main reasons. In general, Ryobi tools are cheap, or at least cheaper than their counterparts.
Okay, Rob,
The quality
40.
of them overall is generally just fine. And they have a vast selection of tools that all use the same 18-volt battery. Ryobi tools are made by TTI, Tectonics Industries.
Phil,
Hong Kong. They also have a headquarters in one of the Carolinas.
Corey-
I don't know if it's north or south.
Cody 24.
The company that also makes rigid tools, AEG everywhere else in the world, Milwaukee, Homelight, Hoover, Dirt Devil, and a bunch of other brands. Now, in the United States, Ryobi tools
DY.
are exclusively sold at the Home Depot, as are the orange line rigid tools. And the way they have it set up, in general, is Ryobi occupies the low tier, the mid tier is occupied by rigid, and the upper tier is
24.
occupied by Milwaukee. But obviously, the separation
Phil.
is not that cut and dry.
Phil
There are
21.
quite a few Ryobi tools that comfortably fit into that low tier category. Typically, typically ones that have a counterpart from Milwaukee, like these 5 here. This 6.5-inch circular saw is great. I love it. It was very cheap and I use it all the time, but objectively, it's kind of on the weak side. This brushed cordless angle grinder is one step above a toy. This
21.
thing is so weak and it cuts out all the time. This is probably the worst Ryobi tool
Ben
I have,
7.
but at least it was kind of cheap. It's not really much of a bonus when you can't use the thing. This metal cutting portable bandsaw is great. I love this thing. I use it all the time. But
72
the Milwaukee versions
L4.
are going to be better.
7.
While Milwaukee offers their portable bandsaws,
Dylan 24.
2.5-inch opening here gets a little bit restrictive at times, and I have no other option. And the Milwaukee versions have a variable speed trigger. This one is an on-off switch, which kind of bugs me. But despite that, I still love this thing and I use it all the time. This drill I bought for $25 out of a bargain bin from a Ryobi approved retailer, and there's nothing wrong with it. It'll probably last you a long time.
Is
It's kind of a basic drill.
44.
This is a 1/2-inch impact wrench. It has a brushed motor, and that's an awful lot of current to be sending through some brushes. On
Okay,
things
Felix
like this.
75.
Every time you pull the trigger, you smell the carbon coming off the brushes, which is a little bit disconcerting. And this thing's only rated for 300 pound-feet of torque, which when you're talking about comparing this to other 1/2-inch cordless impact wrenches is really on the low side. This is one of the lowest torque options available.
75.
Because last year, Ryobi announced a new brushless 1/2-inch cordless impact wrench. And
Pat will
I
be
went out and bought
8.
it. This one's rated for 600 pound-feet of torque. So it'll be substantially more useful. And a few months ago, they announced another one that's rated for 1,200 pound-feet of torque. So my qualms there.
Pat is 8.
There's the tools, like these here, that not only don't have a Milwaukee equivalent, they don't have any equivalent that I'm aware of. This finger sander, for example.
Okay, Garrett will be 80.
It's the only cordless electric finger sander that I'm aware of existing. There's tons of
Garrett's
pneumatically
number
powered ones,
Garrett's
and there's
number
few available as corded electric finger sanders, but this is the only cordless one I've ever seen, which is a shame because finger sanders like this are incredibly useful, and having one that's cordless is almost a no-brainer. The cordless hot glue gun. This is the
Okay,
best
Garrett's
hot glue
number's
gun I've ever
80.
used, hands
Lewis
down.
is 4.
Power source, and it uses a surprisingly small amount of battery, so you can actually get a useful lifespan out of this thing on just a 1.5 amp hour battery. But it's no longer alone in the market anymore. Harbor Freight last year released their own cordless hot glue gun under the Bauer line of tools. So to counter that, Ryobi
Loose
released
number
this
is
little guy, a compact cordless hot glue gun.
4.
So how do you make this thing tinier and lighter but still use the same?
Leo's number
Easy. They converted the base.
BER. Leo's number
Still has a
is
heat element in it, but it's only powered up when you set it in
22.
the dock. So it's useful if you want to set it on a desk.
Okay.
You just pick it up and
Leo's number is
occasionally
22.
set it back down. And to encourage you to set it back down to that base,
Mike number 22. Okay.
to catch any of the hot glue that comes dripping out of the tip. I love this thing, and I think it's a great idea. And it's not very expensive either. I think it's just $25. Cordless soldering station. This is my new
Okay,
favorite
Mike
soldering
is
station.
22.
Technically, Milwaukee does have an equivalent version of this. They have their M12 soldering pen, but it's a completely different form factor, so I'm going to call it a different tool. I prefer this form factor, but that's just a matter of my opinion. And then down here on the floor, the debris sweeper, still powered by an 18-volt battery. You just kick the power button in the back, and the motors spin the brushes and sweep stuff into the bin.
72.
As you can probably tell by how
Jack
tough it
is
I
29.
love this thing, and I use it all the time. One of the most useful tools in my
Jack's-
shop. There are equivalents on the market to this thing, but they're all unpowered.
Jack's number
They're powered by
is
the
that.
wheels as you push it along. So this thing is superior, but there's a problem with it. For whatever reason,
Jack's number is
continued it. I would love to
29?
recommend you go and
Okay.
find these things 'cause it's one of the
29.
best shop cleanup tools in existence. But now, good luck.
Roman
The quality
is
of writing
27.
tools can be a bit hit or miss,
Roman
but
is
most
25.
will be just fine. In general, the two rules I follow are: don't buy out of the combo kits. About half the tools in those combo kits, especially the bigger ones, are just filler.
Roman's number is
5.5-inch circular saw. I think it's going to be completely useless.
25.
And if Ryobi offers a tool in both brushed and brushless variety,
Nick
the brushless one
is
going to be a
77.
better tool. How much better depends on what it is. I've got a brushed circular saw and jigsaw, and they're both perfectly fine. I'm sure their brushless counterparts are even better, but the ones
Is
I have are just fine.
77.
There's a pretty wide gap between the brushed angle grinder and the brushless angle grinder. This angle grinder, whatever.
Patrick
This
is
one's
not
basically a toy.
Oliver's
Genuinely
42.
And there's not a heck of a lot of difference between the brushed and brushless hammer drills, but I do say, and this is subjective, that I really like the feel
NUMBE
and
number
the sound
is
of the motor of this brushless
42?
hammer drill.
40.
It's just too bad I dropped it on his truck and bent it. One little top tip for you: TTI owns a line of factory
Patrick
outsourced
is 9.
ultra-rack tools. If you have one near you,
Patrick is 9.
They mostly sell Ryobi and rigid tools, but they also sell some Milwaukee stuff in there as well. They have steep discounts in there all the time. And you can't check online. Their online inventory is not at all reliable and not at all reflective of what's actually in the store. By going to that store, mine's about an hour away, I've saved hundreds of dollars. Or if you look at it a different way, I've spent hundreds of dollars on tools. But I've gotten some things at some pretty steep discounts. The least discounted thing I've gotten there was
Patrick
brushless impact wrench that I
number
bought today.
is 9.
10% off, but I bought stuff for up to 50% off. And they have flash sales all the time, like store
Is
20% off.
9.
Or this brushless impact driver today only is only $25. This brushless hammer drill.
Okay, pause is going to be special.
Came with a kit with a 4 ampere battery and a speed charger and everything. I got it for $100 because they had a flash sale on. Pretty cool store to go to. You will save a lot of money, but you also spend a lot of money.
Pause. Pause is 18. Okay, pause is going to be a special one.
Broke it. As I already mentioned, this is the brushless hammer drill. I dropped it on its chuck, and now the chuck is bent. Guess this is my fault, but I'm still mentioning it. The only downside of that is now I can't really drill holes with it. The drill bit wobbles around just enough to make it not very good. I torqued on this ratchet too much and broke the drive pin inside. I did have a Ryobi reciprocating saw of this form factor last year, but it broke while I was using it. Some of the teeth of the bevel gear inside sheared off. Don't know
Weighs
what I did to cause that.
18.
That happened and I had to chuck the tool. And the most disappointing failure of all of them was last year. I had a 14-inch 40-volt chainsaw, and it just up and died one day. I picked it up, pulled the trigger,
And
nothing happened. Something died on the circuit board. I tried taking it apart, see if I could
always
find
number
something
18
in the
that
circuitry. Found nothing. Just had to chuck a couple $100 tool, and it was very disappointing. On the upside, though, I got this 16-inch chainsaw this year, and it's actually an upgrade. It has better trigger response, and it's more powerful. If you're looking at getting into the Ryobi ecosystem and don't know where to start, I highly recommend the compact brushless series drill and impact wrench combo kit. Yes, this is one combo kit that I do recommend. You get the compact drill, you get the compact impact driver.
always number
battery,
18
and the
is
charger all
always.
for about, I think it was $160.
It's
I love
always.
these things. Because of their small size, they're very nimble and they're not lacking in power whatsoever.
Always number. It's always number.
In here. And they come with two 1.5 amp hour batteries. Kind of limiting for other tools, but for these tools, perfectly fine. However, if you are going to upgrade to a more power hungry tool like this one-hander reciprocating saw, I highly recommend jumping to a 4 amp hour battery because a 1.5 amp hour battery isn't going to get you much run time. I also have some Milwaukee tools. These two, a screwdriver.
It's always number 18. It's always number.
Milwaukee ratchet. If you also have the Ryobi ratchet. Well, that's an easy question.
Pause had an 18 embroidered into his.
Yeah. There's a little pin in here, a little metal pin that rotates around and moves this ratchet head back and forth. That's how it works. Well, I torqued on this too hard and broke that little pin off.
That's what he has. Yes, pause is. Pause is always. Is has 18 embroidered in
You know, I've said in the past that I would never buy a fryer. I don't have the space
ordered
so it's really nice to have
in
a steel oven that can do air
his
frying like that. The fan in there is very strong and it's going to be a lot more effective at moving air around. That's how you sort of get that frying effect. You know, you're able to remove that moisture from the surface and sort of brown the surface. It's also faster than a traditional oven, way faster. You'll get wings that are just as crispy as if you deep fried that
Okay, next is Jefferson. Jefferson 5.
Built to toast, air fry, reheat, roast, bake, broil, dehydrate, and cook. The Wonder Oven Pro is a serious tool that saves you time for people who really love to cook.
Is number 5. Okay. Bill 11. Bill's number is 11.
Whoops. And before you say, see, Ryobi tools are junk, just know this Milwaukee ratchet is exactly the same construction.
And
Nearly identical heads, and therefore the same vulnerability. I just now
11.
need to be a little bit more careful with this one and not
Wayne,
on it so hard.
28.
So why, when this one broke, did I go to the Milwaukee ratchet instead of just getting another Ryobi ratchet? Well, it's because all these Ryobi tools use the same 18-volt battery.
YNE. YNE. Wayne is 28. The base. 28. 29. Q. 4. 8. My head hurts. Dad, me, you need to have love. Mid now. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what happened. Him's nuts is NUM is number 28. 28.
Is that it was $120, while this Ryobi one was $80. So this costs 50% more for no reason other than it being red.
Can I have some green paint?
Lots of design elements in common. And the
What
reason
time is
I
it?
got this screwdriver
It's like
here
8
is
o'clock,
because
so I'm almost
when
done
I
with this.
ratchet, I needed some N12 batteries. And
Max
the screwdriver
Trevor.
came with the way I found to get 2 N12 batteries.
Trevor
And
93.
it came with a spare tool. So that was kind of neat. I also have these Snapfresh tools. Snapfresh is a tool brand that I believe exclusively sells on Amazon.
Trevor.
I'm paying for none of these things.
93.
4 batteries, 2 reciprocating saws.
Moxie 33.
Impact wrench here. Last year, some guy from the company sent me an email saying, "Hey, we want to send you a reciprocating saw for a video review or something." And I said, "Sure."
Moxie
Here's my address.
number is
Several months went by, and I eventually did show this off on video very briefly.
Is
And I
number
to take apart the steel frame on my homemade truck camper, and it did a fine job at that.
is 33.
But it did the job until I turned off the camera, and then it broke. I don't know what
33.
inside of here, but this thing moves freely, and when I pull the trigger, it's completely
Calvin.
locked up. Something is catastrophically wrong inside of here, so it didn't last all that long. So I emailed the guy that sent me the tool and told him that, and it sent me a second one. I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but free reciprocating saw. And in addition to this, he also sent me this half-inch impact,
Is
which is surprisingly nice. It's
19.
brushless, it feels nice to hold, fairly light.
Jeremy
It's
19.
just too weak. Most of the time, this
Hey,
can
no.
break off lug nuts.
Jeremy
So unless
66.
you're doing light-duty tasks with this thing, I can't really recommend it. Very briefly, my lawn and garden tool selection. I'm sitting on my electric zero-turn mower. I love this thing. I'll make a video about it in the near future. I should say that I love it, but I don't recommend it for absolutely everyone. This is my little baby push mower over here. It's got a 13-inch wide deck. I got this specific
Number.
and the ditches in my front yard. It's so small and light that I can basically
Mom, can I have
around the ditches.
is
Faster than using a weed eater. Surprisingly, that
Number
thing runs
is-
on an 18-volt battery, and I get 30 minutes of runtime from just a simple 4 amp
It
hour
is
18-volt battery. Pretty impressed at that. I've got all
66.
40 tools over here. The leaf blower, my
66.
15-inch chainsaw, and the brushless weed eater, all of which I absolutely love.
Okay,
And
Milton
now,
88.
This bag. Is this a lawn and garden tool? I don't know, but it says Ryobi, so I'm going to count it. Now let's start talking about my expensive tools, starting with the least expensive tool, my mini metal lathe.
Is
I bought
number
this thing earlier this year off
88.
eBay for a whopping $450. Now this thing is, let's say, dubiously useful. For instance,
Xavier
it's powered by a
53.
DC motor. When you slow down the speed on the DC motor, the torque decreases as well. So you have to have this head spinning at a pretty good lick of speed in order for it to actually, do useful things. It doesn't have quite enough rigidity. This thing's quite a little chatterbox, it is. And I thought I was upgrading it with this quick change tool post, but it turns out I was robbing a bunch of useful space from it. So now it's even more limited. That said, I have made some useful parts on it, as you would have seen if you watched my go-kart little project. I don't know if I'd buy this thing again, but I have gotten some use out of it. I have a video of it. Don't really have any opinions about it. As you can see, it's an Eastwood
That's
135. The only reason I got this specific welder is because this is the exact one that my dad had. so I had previous experience with it. As a result of me getting the same one as him, this is the only MIG welder that I've ever used. I mean, I like it. I guess that means I don't have any negative opinions about it, so that's good. I always use it with gas and never use it with flux core wire. The common methodology with buying tools is that you should buy tools when you need them for the job that presents itself. But with a MIG welder, that doesn't really apply, because if you buy a MIG welder, you'll invent ways to use it better. Air conditioning. I don't know if you classify this as a tool, but regardless, I think this is an absolute necessity if you have any sort of indoor workspace. But depending on your climate, of course. These are Pioneer mini splits, and yes, I do have a previous relationship with the company Pioneer.
I had shits, giggle, my dicks.
I was a pretty small YouTuber then, so I was gracious to receive an email back. They sent me 2 of these mini splits for this shop for the price of one, and I do have an affiliate link down in the description if you want to pick one of these up yourself. I highly recommend them. I picked mini splits because they're super quiet, and they're also reversible heat pumps, so they act as heaters in the winter. But you can make do with any sort of window air conditioner or many other cheap alternatives. But don't skip out on air conditioning. If you get overheated, you're going to get frustrated. If you get frustrated, you're going to start developing negative feelings toward whatever hobby you're working on and whatever indoor workspace you have. Get air conditioning. My lift. And here you thought I was the biggest tool in the shop. How silly you must feel. I bought this lift about 5 years ago while I was living at my last house because I moved in. The garage had 13-foot ceilings, and I felt like an opportunity. So I bought and installed this lift, and suddenly all my extra space went away. Weird how that works. I bought this thing from Northern Tool. It's a 2-post bend pack.
Got two episodes done in my cartoon. Last episode. Maybe I'll do 3 to 4. Maybe I'll do 3 episodes. Who knows?
I bought this thing about 5 years ago, and I seem to remember the price being about $2,800. I just looked at Northern Tool's website, and an equivalent version of this lift now